Hey, what's good? What's good? We back at it, man. Look, big night tonight. Phillies playing Diamondbacks game one at the park. Be there, be square. Before I get into it, like, subscribe, share, click the notification bell, all that good stuff. And let's go ahead and talk about it, man. Look, Diamondbacks red hot, Phillies red hot coming into this series, and we have a pitcher's duel. Zac Gallen, South Jersey boy, versus Zack Wheeler in game one. And I want to talk about a couple of things because look, nobody's overlooking the Diamondbacks. I certainly am not. I don't think anybody in that Phillies clubhouse is overlooking the Diamondbacks. But let's talk about Zac Gallen here because he's had a wonderful playoff run so far. He's been pitching very, very well. He brings a lot to the table. And you look at him this year, he has a pretty good ERA. He was an all-star, 3.47 ERA. He had 17 wins, 9 losses, and he has an array of pitches that he uses to get batters out. And look, him and their number two starter, they shut down the Brewers, who were one of the hottest teams in baseball, and then they shut down the Dodgers, who had really, really good hitting, solid pitching, but very, very good hitting, and he shut them down. So let's look at some of the things that Zac Gallen does. So he has a four-seam fastball, averages around 94 miles an hour. He has a curveball around 83 miles an hour, and then he has a changeup and a cutter that he sprinkles in. So he throws a fastball about 49% of the time, and he really locates that around the center of the plate. So I'm going to guess that he likes getting ahead in the count early. I'm looking at a heat map for where he's locating these pitches at. So you're throwing that 49% of the time, and you're throwing it for a lot of first pitch strikes. I would assume, maybe even second pitch strikes, but definitely first pitch strikes. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, but that's what the heat map's telling me. And then the curveball throws that about heat map's telling me. And then the curveball throws that about 23% of the time, and he's throwing that low in the zone to very far low outside of the zone. So that's a strikeout pitch. Because I think that's a very good combination. One of the pitchers that used that, and I don't know if he's in the Hall of Fame yet. I think he is. Roy Oswalt, the Wizard of Oz. He had a combination of that 95 to 97 mile an hour fastball, followed by a 12-6 curveball that just drops from the ceiling. When you're seeing that fastball coming at you at eye level, it's very tempting to swing at that, especially if you can locate it on the edges on the paint, or especially like high up, almost outside of zone, to get guys swinging and inducing a lot of pop flies. And then once you get ahead in the count, 0-1, get a nice first pitch fastball. Then strike two, you're locating the fastball maybe lower in the zone or on the edges, and then strike three. After seeing the forcing fastball up high, now you throw that hook, whoop, and then it drops. So you think it's a fastball, and then by the time you realize the spin on the pitch is a little bit too late. So he does a lot of that. He's been very effective with that as a young pitcher. He's only 28 years old. And then he sprinkles in the changeup and the cutter here and there. But the changeup he throws about 14% of the time, and he throws that on the inside part of the plate. So if you're right-hander, he throws that in on your hands and low. So again, you're looking fastball, and then it drops. The changeup drops inside to your hands, so you end up swinging over top of it. So I think he does a lot of good things with those pitches. And then he has the cutter he throws 10% of the time. He has a slider that he throws about 3% of the time, not a whole lot, but he'll throw it in there. I would guess maybe in some of the later innings here and there to throw you off, low and outside. And then he has a sinker that he likes to run in on your hands, from time to time. So he might mix in that sinker with the fastball, but he's really a fastball curveball pitcher that can throw you off with a changeup from time to time as well. That being said, going into this game, we already know what Zack Wheeler does. He brings that high heat, that high velo, 97, 98, 99 if he's feeling good that day. And then he'll mix it in with that sinker and then that wicked curveball. He has a lot of pitches he can hit you with, and that's why he's starting. He's why he's starting game one. So I'm very confident in Zack Wheeler. He's been pitching well all year, and he's really taken it up even another notch in September going into the playoffs. So I expect him to continue his hot um his hot trend right now. And you look at this Diamondbacks team; they are squaring up the ball in a way that they weren't during the season, and that's what I want to touch on here. So early in the season, they were not hitting the ball out the park. So hard hit percentage is the metric, and it pretty much encompasses uh, how hard the ball is hit off the bat. How quick? What is the exit velo? So pitches that are leaving the bat at least 95 miles an hour are considered to be hard hit. So that's correlated with quality contact. So during the season, the Phillies were 10th in Major League Baseball with a 40.6 hard hit percentage, and the Diamondbacks were 22nd with a 38.1 hard hit percentage. And I think maybe Moreno, their catcher, he's playing a role in why they're hitting better because they've been a night and day better team with him versus without him. But they were only hitting the ball hard 38.1% of the time. That's regardless of the launch angle or whatnot, but just hitting the ball, getting solid contact. They were not doing that during the season, even though they are doing that now. So you have to wonder how much of this is newfound power that will last throughout the playoffs and through this series as long as they stay in the playoffs, or how much of it is just they got hot for a little bit and they might start to come back down to earth. Don't know the answer to that, but that would be something that I would look to if I was, Zack Wheeler, trying to locate in spots where they're going to have to swing when they don't want to, and then get that hard hit percentage back down to what we saw during the season. And then secondly, there's another stat that popped out to me, and that's barrel percentage, and that takes into account a whole bunch of different things. So the exit velo, which just went over, and then the launch angle, what angle the ball is leaving the bat at, as well as what direction you're hitting the ball in. So all those things combined into one is how much quality contact are you getting that would lead to you theoretically to be able to bat at least 500 and have a 1500 expected slugging percentage. So, power numbers, doubles, home runs, triples, right? Arizona was not good during the season. They ranked 28th with a barrel percentage of 6.2. But in the playoffs, that jumped up by more than one fold. So they're sitting at 14.4% for their barrel percentage in this playoffs against the Brewers and the Dodgers. So you have the one, and then you look at the Phillies, our barrel percentage was 8.7% during the season, which was eighth in the league. So, and everybody knows we're a hitting team. Like, come on, you have Schwarber, Harper, Turner. Like, we got the guys, right? So, and then we've only stayed at that level, if not gotten a little bit hotter in the first two playoff series that we had. So, the numbers and the trends would seem to indicate that they just arrived as a power hitting team, and we will see if they sustain that versus the Phillies have always been a power hitting team, and they've just continued that trend, if not even improved upon it in the postseason. When we just saw that with the Braves, right? You look at their pitching and see what we did to their pitching, right? So the Diamondbacks, you look at the Brewers pitching and how they just belted them around. They might have had the best pitching rotation in the MLB playoffs this year, and they absolutely demolished them. But can they keep that up? We will see. I certainly wouldn't put it past them to be able to do so. They definitely have some good hitters on that team. So we have to come in there with the mindset of this is who we think they are. Let's do the things that we need to do. And the thinking is that we will be able to have success based off who they are. I would say the Diamondbacks are probably somewhere in between where they are now as a hitting team and where they were during the season as a hitting team. I think they're above average with the ability to be red hot. It's just, can they sustain that? And we're going to find out. We truly will. But that gives me confidence as a Phillies fan coming into this game. So I do think that the Phillies will take game one. I think we'll be able to get to Zac Gallen, I think, probably closer to like the fourth or fifth inning. Be patient, see what his approach is going to be. And if he is a first pitch strike thrower, like I think he is, then once you get one time through the rotation, then circle back and start to try to ambush, jump on some of those first pitch fastballs and try to do damage. You know what I mean? You want to get to that bullpen as quick as possible because beyond Zac Gallen, you have a good number two starter, and then you don't really have much in terms of pitching. They're here because of hitting, and they really remind me a lot of the Phillies, especially like the Phillies of 2007 and then the World Series team in 2008. You had Cole Hamels, who um, was an ace at that time, especially during the 2008 run. But then behind him, you didn't really have great pitching, but you had solid guys that just did their job. Jamie Moyer, throwing beach balls, but locating extremely well, and just the experience on top of that, just making him hard to beat in the playoffs. Joe Blanton, another guy, throwing like 90, 91 with his fastball, but just really painting the corners. He eats innings. Like, they remind me of that team. So we have to be very careful with how we approach them, but at the same time, be aggressive in the things that we see as weaknesses and exploit them. So I have the Phillies winning game one. Let me know what you guys think, and I'm going to go ahead and check out the game and see you guys after. And hopefully, it's after a Phillies win, which would be the opposite of what the Eagles did yesterday against the Jets. But congratulations to the Jets. Even though I hate seeing the Eagles lose. I do. I really wanted to see the Jets do well on Aaron Rodgers, and it's good to see them have some resiliency and some fight back, and some moxie. So that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.